Terrible. Hello, everybody. Welcome back after a long and thick and strong hiatus. We are back with another episode of the Untitled Hoops Podcast. I am your host, Sean. That is your other host, Marquis, a.k.a. apparently the leader of the Tobias Harris fan club is what his name says right now. Tell the people how full of shit you are, because you were so on board with trading Tobias Harris just like a month ago.
Well, can we take in consideration the context and what I put that in? I literally said, hopefully I'm not that loud because my gain accidentally went up. My context was Doc Rivers is not going to use him right, so we should trade him for pieces that was going to fit Doc Rivers' system because we know Doc Rivers was not going to get fired. I never said I did not like Tobias Harris.
I feel like you've been on board with trading Tobias Harris for a very long time.
I've been on board trading Tobias Harris for the reason I just said. Okay. Because Doc was never going to use him the right way, the correct way. And he, literally, I did not see him adjusting his game this much to fit Doc's system. That's why I wanted to trade him, because to trade him for players that will fit Doc's system more than him. That's the only reason I wanted to trade him. I still like him.
But the fucked up part is that doesn't even make sense, because when Tobias was on the Clippers, he was literally one of the best players Doc had. And
but it was more of a shared offense.
He was the system.
He had more shared offense. It was like him, Gallinari.
Yeah, I completely agree, but at the same time, it's weird to say that Tobias Harris doesn't fit Doc's system when Tobias had one of his best statistical years under Doc.
But I said in a way that Doc's system had to change because of the players he had. There's new players that he's around now. Literally, your system has to change when you get to Joel. You can't be running fucking 5 men out.
Yeah.
When you fucking have Joel. I mean, you can.
So let's talk about Doc for a second, because
my camera just froze.
Did your camera freeze? It looks frozen to me. Why? Does my camera look frozen to you?
No, my camera's frozen.
Okay. Well, I can still hear you. I can't remember what game it was. I don't know if it was the game against Atlanta. No. I can't remember what game it was. I don't know if it might have been Atlanta. But it was the game when Joel scored 57 just recently. Utah, right. And
no, you said just recently. You talk about he scored 50 points multiple times.
Yeah. The most recent one.
Question.
I think it was Utah.
If I leave, will that mess you up? Will that mess the recording up?
No.
Hold up, I think I have to leave and come back in.
Okay, but whatever the most recent game was, I think he scored 57. And I think you're right. I think it was Utah. But after the game, apparently, not after the game. Apparently, during the game, Joel said after the game that during the game, Doc was telling him to stay aggressive. This wasn't the 57-point game. I think it was the game or two afterwards. But Doc was telling him to stay aggressive. And it was a game where the Sixers were winning, pretty substantially.
I think this was against the Kings.
Yeah, yes, it was against the Kings. It was after Joel went off by himself. And they had the game against the Kings where they were having, a really good team game.
Yeah.
And Joel said afterwards that Doc told him that he wanted him to stay aggressive and really kind of enforce himself. And Joel had to tell him, what are you talking about? We're playing really well. The ball is moving. It's not sticking anywhere. We're really in a groove, as a team. And he just thought that was weird that Doc would say that to him. Does it kind of seem like we're getting to a point where Doc is starting to lose the locker room a little bit?
If he didn't already lose it, I personally believe that Doc is a player coach, so I think he's more of a whatever you guys say, or if you guys have come to agreement, that's what we're going to go with type of coach. So if Joel goes, all right, we're going to find a hot hand, then that's what the team is going to do. Legit. Tobias Harris was literally in the corner probably good 4 or 5 times. I think all his threes came from the corner. and they was literally just constantly find him because on the three that DeAnthony Melton gave some was the three they took away eventually, and that's overtime. Joel was open behind him. Joel was open behind him because Joel had made a cut. He was open behind him, but yet DeAnthony Melton went to the hot hand, which was Tobias Harris. So I think when you have a coach like that, I think the players kind of lead it, and then he kind of installs it and makes sure that they all keep to it. I think that's what. That's probably
I wonder how sustainable that is, because
I don't
it's
think it's sustainable at all.
If we compare the two coaches that we've seen over the past 10 years or whatever, Brett Brown and Doc Rivers are two very different coaches, but they've also had two very similar flaws, if that makes sense. Not exactly managing the personalities well, with Ben especially, Jimmy, and then the rotation issues. But the one thing that I can say is that I think Brett was a better X's and O's coach. I wouldn't even say better X's and O's coach. I think that's a stretch. He designed a better offense for Joel and JJ, for the personnel that was there. And then Ben was the fast break guy. He designed a pretty good offense. It was the number one offense in the league for a while when they had JJ and Dario and Ben, Joel and Covington. And then when Jimmy got there and Tobias got there, it kind of threw a wrench in things because I think Brett was having a hard time really figuring out the roles and also enforcing the roles.
Yeah.
But now with Doc, it's like he, I don't know if he's designing an offense at all. It's kind of just we got all this talent, just give him the ball. Joel, just stay aggressive. But then he's contradicting himself because he tells Harden, like we saw in the beginning of the training camp, obviously we're going to need you to score. But then he tells Tyrese, we're going to need you to score. And it's okay, but
which one of us are going to go?
Yeah. And then everybody's oh, Tobias Harris is the odd man out. It's well, yeah, because he's kind of given these three guys this job of go out and score the ball. And then Tobias is just fill in the blanks.
What do I do? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did say that Tobias Harris was the connector, which I totally agree with.
Me too.
He is Sean, what you said in the last podcast we did, which was probably last month. You said he's a big wing that can guard. He's a multi-position defender. Even when we played against the Kings and DeAnthony Melton was out, Tobias Harris was the best player to put on De'Aaron Fox, which was surprised the fuck out of me, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely the connector, and I think if he can play that Andrew Wiggins role, we could go deep into the playoffs, especially if he can hit that corner three consistently.
But see, it's weird because you're talking about Tobias Harris being Andrew Wiggins, but on the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins was the second or third leading scorer.
Yeah. On
this team, Tobias Harris isn't even that.
In terms of effectiveness, even if
just be reliable.
Even if he's not the second best scorer in the playoffs, just still be effective to where you go, oh shit, Tobias Harris, damn, he was there. Tobias Harris can have 15 points, fucking 12 points. But if he has 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and he's actively guarding, when he's engaged, that's a great game by Tobias. That's the game that we need from Tobias. Right. And I feel like he can do it. It's just a matter of keeping his confidence up, making sure he's still in the plays. Whether he's an option, making sure he's an option in a play, so he's more engaged. And I just think when everybody's engaged, everybody's looking forward to getting the ball. You got multiple passers on this team. Joel's averaging a career high in assists again. Mm-hmm. James is a great passer. Tobias is passing the ball more. Tyrese's drive and kicks are a thing. When you have everybody involved in the offense, I think everybody's looking forward to it. And, nobody can really get mad about it because if the play is constantly going to the guy who can make the best play, nobody can really be mad about anything for real.
There's not really much for Tobias to complain about as a player. especially considering how much money he's making. But at the same time, it's like it has to suck that you don't really know. You don't have a role. Like, you don't have a specific, like, this is what we need you to go out and do every single game.
Because it's going to be, like, crazy because when Tyrese come back with...
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, Tobias has basically been the second best player, if we're being honest, so far. Even when James is back. Like, James had a good game not too long ago, but, like, Tobias looks like the second best player. And, I just feel as though if they could get a little thing where it's like, okay, James is not your night. Pass the ball a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Still be aggressive. Still be a threat. You know what I mean? Don't take your foot off the gas because, you know, your shot's not falling. Still be a threat so the people will still guard you. And, like, PJ started finding a shot just a little bit. You know, so, like, just, like, being aggressive so when, like, the other players getting to go, like, you might be out the play, but you can still, like, have an eye on you because of what you might be able to do.
I think it sucks, but I think the way that we really are going to win is if we put less pressure on James to be a scorer, which sounds weird because James is obviously a tremendous scorer, and that's what he's been for.
Doesn't sound weird to me at all.
Well, I think for most people who are not, like, watching this team all the time, who just hear the name James Harden, they think, what do you mean you don't want James to score? But it's like, if you think about it, we do have so many offensive options that we kind of do just need one person who can just find guys. Same thing with, we kind of just need one person who can go out and play great defense consistently. We kind of, like, we have so many Swiss Army knives that it's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, but we need a game-to-game role. Like, J.J. Redick was so valuable to the team because we knew exactly what we were going to get out of him every single night. He knew what his job was. It was to go out and shoot the ball. T.J. McConnell, like, his job was never to score, but he was still extremely valuable to the team as a backup point guard because his job was just to run the offense, to try not to turn the ball over, and play pesky, you know, good defense, like full-court defense. And I think for James, it's like we need you to be less – we don't need you to be Houston James Harden, which everybody keeps saying, but it seems like James himself hasn't, like, figured it out yet. Like, we need you to be more like a Chris Paul or, I mean, Tony Parker even. Like, we need you to be a facilitator who can score, not a scorer who can facilitate.
No,
because then you open the door for James, Tobias, and Tyrese to go off and be the scorers that they are. And then if those guys aren't having good nights, then it's like, all right, James, you got the ball in your hands most of the time. Just go out and, you know, be aggressive and try to make something happen offensively.
I think if they're not finding their shots, it's easy to go, okay, we're going to run this shit around Joel, and we're going to make them double, and now we're going to play out of Joel until everybody finds their rhythm.
Right.
I feel like we got like multiple. This is like we have a very slow pace.
Yeah.
And people talk about
which isn't the worst thing.
But this is the whole thing. That slow pace becomes elite once we hit the playoffs.
Right.
It becomes elite because if our best is when half-court offense. Our best is when we're not good transition defensive team, but we are great in half-court defense. So that equals out to a great plug-in playoff team because we got the scorers, we got the mid-range shooters, Shake, you know, Joel, Tyrese when he wants to, Tobias. Like, we got the mid-range shooters, and mid-range is definitely going to be used in the playoffs, especially when the threes don't fall. When the spacing is not the same because everybody's, you know, trying to get back, and a lot of the, you know, the offense is in full court. So we got a lot of those killers that is going to be definitely pivotal once the playoff time comes along. And also, I called us to go. I think I said 13-2.
No,
and
11-2.
11-2
out of the 14.
And that was before
Tyrese got injured.
It was before the injuries.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it looks like they're about to do that for me, in another way. Obviously, we play Detroit tonight.
Yep.
That's for our sixth. I found the Sixers are going to find a way. It's either we're going to blow them out, or it's going to be a very close game. It's like no in between. It's either we're going to blow them out, or it's going to be a very close game. There's no in between. I don't know why it should be a close game because Cade is out for the year.
Right.
I don't know why. but if it is,
well, I mean, I think the Sixers have had a little bit of a hint of like playing to the level of their competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, we saw how they can kind of get comfortable in the last game against Toronto, and even the Lakers game. Like, we were up pretty big in both of those games.
Even Houston, right. And then, like, towards the end, they kind of take their foot off the gas. We have to have the worst defense in the final 30 seconds ever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that's not just the Lakers game. It's just in general. Like, we do not do good with defense closing out quarters. Mm-hmm. And it's like everybody's, okay, we're just going, we can't wait for halftime, or we can't wait for the timeout, or the TV timeout. It's like, bro, people just take their foot off the gas, and they just expect everybody to slow down with them.
It sucks because if you think about it, we only have maybe one player. We definitely only have one player who is elite on both ends, and that's Joel.
Mm-hmm.
But even Joel is kind of pacing himself a little bit sometimes. You can see it.
100%.
Tobias is good on both ends, but again, it depends on kind of where he is in the flow of the game.
I think the same would be for DeAnthony.
Right,
well.
You say the same thing for DeAnthony Melton. And then everybody else is pretty much either or. Like, PJ Tucker is pretty much just a defensive player. And even that's, like, slipping a little bit. T. Stiebel is pretty much just a defensive player. They can both knock down open shots. They've shown that they can knock down open shots. But you're not going to have too much creation from either one of them offensively.
I wouldn't say PJ Tucker's slipping. I wouldn't say that. I just don't think
I don't think he's slipping. I think he's getting acclimated.
The matchups that he is going, I don't think favor him.
Yeah.
Like Pascal, a better suited player like him should be Tobias, who can keep up with the foot speed, rather than PJ, who's just trying to block off the drive. Tobias is like literally let you drive, but Tobias is one of those defenders where he can lead you. He's leading the player he's guarding into Joel or into the center.
The problem is if you don't put PJ on Tobias, or if you don't put PJ on Pascal.
Pascal was killing PJ.
Right,
like,
but at the same time, the only other option is you put Tobias on Pascal and then put PJ on Scotty Barnes.
But Scotty Barnes was literally not doing nothing the entire game.
But that could also be because Tobias was guarding him.
No, like he was literally at the 3-point line. He wasn't even attempting shots.
By the way, what do you think is going on with the Raptors? Like their half court offense has not been it. Like it's been weird.
Well, one, they have injuries. They've been having injuries, so the inconsistency.
But I mean, their key guys are there though, like Pascal, Scotty Barnes, Van Fleet. Like, they're there.
Freddie's done, I think, in terms of like being a Raptor after their season. He has like a player option, but I think they're going to trade him. I think the Raptors should just go into the. See, it's crazy because like they've never been a team to like rebuild.
Right,
they've always just
like the Spurs.
Yeah, they just always retooled.
Yeah,
and Pascal is playing unbelievable right now. I think he's averaging like fucking 25, 7 and 6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be averaging more, honestly. But like, I would think you will retool. I mean, it looks like Scotty's in a sophomore slump, which is okay. I mean, Jason Tatum with the same thing, and Jason Tatum is one of the best, if not the fucking MVP right now. So it's sophomore slump is nothing, but like you have some players that a lot of teams would want that you guys could probably go commit to a tank this year, kind of like what the Warriors did. Like, I mean, even though the Warriors they did it because more so injuries, but like go into the tank this year. There's going to be players that want to come to Toronto because of the culture. Anyway, on my side, Jerry, you know he does magic, especially if he has money to go get the guys that he would like to come there. So Scotty, Pascal,
championship head coach.
OG, his name has been dangled around out there, and it turns out that literally every team in the NBA wants him.
Yeah,
you know, stuff like
rightfully
that.
Rightfully
so. And they were saying, Zach Lowe was saying, they don't be surprised if a trade happens and you see the return they're going to get for OG. Mm-hmm. And it was like it's going to be something to the Donovan Mitchell level. which I don't understand. I think that's more so to the Rudy Gobert level where, like, they're going to get that shit, but it's like, for the other team, it's going to be so, now you did that, now what? Like, I don't see OG as a guy who changes your franchise. I don't see him as a guy who, like, lifts you up to a certain... It depends, literally, OG coming to your team depends on who you have already.
Exactly. And I think, or it depends on if you're two teams that are going into a rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like, literally, who has the shit that each other team needs, literally, and both will be considered in a retool, the Bulls in Toronto should just make a fucking trade.
Right. That's what I was saying.
They
like,
both have certain
literally,
shit that everybody needs, yeah.
You could literally just change the faces of both of your franchises without moving yourself that far down in the standing.
Like, look at this. Toronto needs a big, and Chicago needs shooting. You can literally trade Vucevic for Gary Trent, and then you have Andre Drummond, who can get 10 and 10, like it's nothing. So now you replace him. Andre Drummond's way better defensively than Nikola Vucevic, and that's saying something because Andre Drummond is not that great of a defender. So you put him into the starting lineup, and then you have Gary Trent along with those guys because the spacing is not good if Zach LaVine is not hitting shots.
Right.
Now you got Gary Trent, who's a fucking laser. When he's on, this shit is crazy. Vucevic goes over there. They need a center. You also stretch the floor for Pascal to operate in a mid-range and Scotty to operate. So I would do that if I was them. Like, you both got something that we need, and it's like Vucevic is like, his name is out there. Like, they don't want him no more. Like, his what he's doing, they feel as though that literally Andre Drummond is going to take away the spacing. But if you add another spacer, that wouldn't matter that much. And you could use Andre Drummond, big body, to help DeMar even get open more when he goes to his mid-range shot. So it's too much that makes sense for them not to even entertain it.
I would even consider Andre to be a better pick and roll big.
100%, because he can go catch lobs. Yeah. He can, I mean, he's not going to pop. But, you know what I'm saying, catch lobs just to be that just to be a fucking, like, somebody who can do it. Like, just the fear of, fuck, I can't help out on DeMar. If DeMar's got it going, shit, like, whoever the big is, they can't go, like, oh, shit, let's help out DeMar, because Andre Drummond's right there. It's kind of like the Clint Capella situation where it's like, Joel wants to go help on Trae Young on a floater, the possible floater, or the, you know, what he might do to whoever's in front of him, but he also got to watch out because Trae Young can turn a floater into a lob pass, and Clint Capella's right behind him. So it's very much like, you know what I'm saying? It's something that they should be doing or trying.
So let's take a second and let's just check on the tournament that is currently going on for Wemby. And let's see. As of right now, it looks like Detroit and Charlotte.
Oh, damn. I forgot Charlotte existed. That's fucked up.
Detroit, Charlotte are 8-25 and then 8-23. Terrible records. Who do you think is a better fit?
You said Detroit or Charlotte?
Yeah.
I think Detroit because they just have more intact right now. I think Charlotte is just LaMelo.
True, but at the same time, it's like Detroit has more, but their other star, which would be Cade, is sort of injury prone already.
But so is LaMelo.
That's true.
But I would think he would want to go something with the more.
Well, if you want structure, the best fit would be San Antonio, who is currently at number 4, or they would be projected to get the number 4 overall pick at 10. Their record is 10-20. Only 3 games, I think 3.5 games behind Detroit. I think San Antonio would be probably the best fit, but the problem with San Antonio is that they would be starting from scratch pretty much with Wemby. He would be square one. Like, he would be going into a situation where there's not even a Cade or a LaMelo.
the thing about San Antonio is, one, you got the coach. I think
of course
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, right.
Of all is the development that he's going to have under Coach Pop. And the thing about, once again, like what I was saying, I think I got cut off a little bit, but I would want to go to Detroit. Obviously, he doesn't get the choice,
right?
But like, if the ping pong balls fall into place, Detroit or San Antonio.
What about Orlando?
I don't think so.
No,
I feel like they got too much shit going, and also they're better than what people expected them to be.
I mean, they're right behind San Antonio. They're 11-21.
I expect them to win more games.
Okay,
I
mean, I would say so too. I think Paolo probably comes on a little bit more. And then they're missing some guys too. I think is Mo Bamba.
I think Wendell still out too.
Yeah, and then we're seeing the emergence of Bobo.
Yeah,
I mean, once they figure out how to use Bobo, it's like,
why do you want to stunt Bobo's growth for a chance at Wemby?
Right. If you can unlock Bobo, like find a way to play with him that's like the best for him, you might not even really have a use for Wemby anymore. Not to say that Bo is like going to be that much better, but it's like if he can put on some weight,
dude is
he
shooting
can do
fucking
everything.
60% from the field, was shooting 40% from third.
Yeah. I was so pissed when the Sixers didn't draft him. I forget who we got in the second round, but we passed up on Bobo. I mean, obviously a lot of teams passed up on Bobo, but
he literally got invited to the green room. If you get invited to the green room, they're not expecting you to go to the second round,
right? Yeah.
But he had that injury.
It was the injuries, yeah.
Yeah, he had the injuries.
But I didn't expect him to fall that far, though. I didn't expect Michael Porter Jr. to fall that far either. I mean, Denver really, like, they came up off of those two injuries.
Did they really? Because one is a fucking injury-prone monster, and the other one doesn't play for their team anymore.
I would argue that one of them, the trade, would be them kind of just making a move that they felt was best in the moment to get Aaron Gordon because they needed a defender. But at the same time, if they were able to make it work, like let's say if Michael Porter Jr. never got injured again, they might not have to make that trade to move Bobo.
I feel like Bobo was never going to reach his full potential.
No, probably not. I mean, not in a team where he's playing behind Michael Porter Jr. and
I think it's kind of like
Jokic.
The Ben Simmons situation to a certain degree, whereas I feel as though if Ben Simmons wasn't, like, if the Sixers weren't winning, if we didn't just catapult into winning that following season, that Ben Simmons might have developed a jump shot because there was no pressure to be good right out the gate. Like, once you start winning and we're in a third seed when we were just out the playoffs last year.
But now I don't even know about that, though, because I feel like if there was no pressure, there also probably wouldn't have been that much pressure to get better either. If you're Ben Simmons and you come into a team where, because obviously Ben is good enough that he could turn a team around, not to the point of like he's going to carry them to the playoffs, but like his presence alone, what he can do would be good enough to elevate a team to the point where they're like, all right, now we just need to build around Ben. Not, okay, to get to the next level, Ben needs to develop a jump shot. They would probably view it more so as like, all right, to get to the next level, we need more pieces to fit around Ben. Like if Ben got drafted somewhere else, like LA, I don't think they see it as like, oh, Ben needs to develop a jump shot. I think it's more like, oh, we got to get Ben some help. I don't think
it would be necessarily he needs to develop a jump shot. I just think he would have himself because there was nothing stopping him or nothing mentally blocking him because he's probably thinking, fuck, I can't do this now. I can't do this shit now. We're winning now. I don't want to do this shit and now we're fucking losing or I'm taking this out of games because I'm doing this shit once in a while, even though we wouldn't have cared if he took a 3 once in a while. I mean, but, like mentally going, fuck, I don't want to fuck up the team flow.
I think I would agree.
It's like a guy that's been injured.
Yeah,
like you're one of the key guys that's key guys for your team, but you're injured. Your team goes on a fucking run, and you come back and you're like, well, damn, bro, I don't want to fuck up what the fuck they got going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. That it's like, damn, like I want to damn near play perfect or just play to my strengths, so I don't mess up what's happening here.
I think I would agree if the whole world wasn't still telling him, in spite of all that you need to shoot more. Because it's like I get it. Like you're winning and you don't want to mess it up. But at the same time,
was literally was like, I want you to take 1 3 a game.
Yeah, exactly. I can understand you feeling that way if everybody's saying, "Hey, we got a good thing going. Don't mess it up." But if it's the opposite and the whole world is telling you, "Hey, we got a good thing going, but it could be better if you start shooting," then I think that excuse kind of goes out the window because you should know you're not going to mess it up. And even if you do mess it up, we told you to do it. So like.
Right, it's like, why are you scared of doing it?
Exactly.
When it's literally,
when we're all behind you. Like we want you to do it.
Like, bro,
and then it's the regular season too. It's like you got 82 games to try this shit, bro. Like, it's not like it's the playoffs where we're like, all right, we want to experiment and see. We want you to take 2 threes a game just to see what happens. Like, you got the whole. We know we're making it to the playoffs. You got the whole regular season to just. Try some shit.
Going into that season, we were supposed to make the playoffs.
No, I don't mean the first season. I mean like if we go into like his sophomore,
like deeper into
like his sophomore season or even the off season, like you had all that time to get it. And actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, you could include his rookie season as well because if you go back to his summer league like games, he was shooting mid-range jump shots pretty regularly and knocking them down. So when we get to the regular season, there's really nothing that should have told him that shooting mid-range jump shots was going to screw things up. Like we've already seen you do it. Like we know you're capable of it. You should know you're capable of it as well. There's not really anything in your mind that should be telling you, oh, well, I don't want to mess this up because we got a good thing going.
Yeah. But like I'll also throw in the fact that Joel didn't shoot threes in college.
Right.
And then is literally one of his first points of his career.
Yeah.
I think his second bucket was a 3.
Yep.
So,
but that's just the mental. But that's the difference.
I would say the Sixers were ass.
Right.
Like they were ass. So like that probably inspired him to shoot a 3 because it's like, bro, we're not gonna do shit anyway.
I think it's not just that, but I think it's also the competition. I think Ben and Joel just look at competition differently. With Ben, is like I just want to stop this other guy from doing what he's doing and then win the game, and I want my teammates to knock down shots. But with Joel, it's like anything this other motherfucker can do, I can do better. Watch me. So when you're going up against Karl Anthony Towns and DeMarcus Cousins and like all these guys who are seen as the best, Anthony Davis, who are seen as the best bigs in the league, who can also knock down threes, Kevin Love, it's like, all right, I can do this shit too. Like in Joel's mind, it's like I need to be just as good as they are. Whereas in Ben's mind, it's 100%. Like, I just want to play good defense and win and maybe get some assists. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make the team and make my teammates look good.
Yeah. I see that 100%. I had a question. I'm fucking blanking on it. For those who are watching it, I'm sick. I'm sick as fuck.
Yeah.
I've been sick for the last, 2 weeks, and this is crazy.
Oh.
I want this shit just be over.
Got that vid.
No, I don't got a vid. I wish I would, because I stay the fuck home. Nope, I'll take my ass to work. Fuck that, but ask you a question. I was blanking. All right, you come up with something, because I can't think of it.
What was it about?
It was about,
I thought you were about to say something about basketball.
Yeah, well, it was definitely about basketball. No, I think I do remember. It's like, who would you target for the Sixers? Because I feel like, at this point, a lot of things that we thought in the beginning of the season is starting to come together.
Yeah.
That we thought we were going to be in the beginning of the season is starting to come together.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the places that a lot of people that we were thinking of trading were probably not, because they're now showing what we wanted them to do, and now they're starting to come into their own. What would you do to this team, if anything? Like, what would you try to go get, or if there's any name or just a position or specialty, what would you try to go get?
I still think we need another 3-and-D forward. That would be nice. Someone who can guard at least point guards and shooting guards, small forwards.
So Matisse style?
Well, I would like another one who's maybe a little bit more, if not versatile, consistent offensively. So obviously we're not going to get Sadiq Bey, but if we could get someone like a Devin Vassell or
his asking price is too high.
Yeah, I know.
If any, I don't think he's tradable.
Well, it depends on what we give up.
I don't think he's tradable.
I think if we gave up Matisse,
we have nothing.
I think if we gave up Matisse,
that's not enough. That's not enough for Devin Vassell. He's averaging 20,
but he's averaging 20 on the Spurs.
But he's averaging.
Look at what we gave up. Look at what we gave up,
Spurs.
or what we got when we gave up Michael Carter-Williams, who was a Rookie of the Year.
Who I don't remember.
We got like 2 picks and a player.
Okay, the fucking Spurs are not doing that. They're not trading Devin Vassell. Especially when you're a young team, why would you trade a young player?
I mean, we did it, and we were better off for it.
But he was on a decline.
I guess, but that was because of injuries.
Better every year.
Yeah, but think about it. Devin Vassell has gotten better every year, but also the team has gotten worse. So, if you're the Spurs, are you looking at this as like Devin Vassell is going to be our key guy, one of our key guys going into the future, or are you looking at it as like we literally have nobody else, so Devin is flourishing?
Maybe. I would definitely say maybe. Because like, why not? He's literally showing you.
He might be.
Hey,
he might be
fuck,
untradeable.
Bro, look at me.
He might be untradeable, but at this point in the season, I wouldn't do anything big, but I would inquire about those kinds of guys. What's your asking point? What do you want? Like that, I would call Detroit. I would call San Antonio. I would call even Toronto about Gary Trent Jr. And I would just ask, like, what do you want?
I don't think it's not that I don't think that we don't have nothing that would interest the Spurs. Why would you want Matisse Thybulle?
I mean,
when you have Devin Vassell, who's doing what Matisse Thybulle is doing on defense, and also shooting 40% from 3.
Well, if you're the Spurs,
20 points.
If you're the Spurs, remember you're also trying to get Wemby, and right now your 4 spaces out. So like,
they're losing. So they don't.
But they're not losing as much as they need to, is what I'm saying.
But what you mean? All they gotta do is be in the top 3 of losing.
They're not in the top 3.
But we're not even 30 games into the season, if that.
I understand that, but I'm saying like I'm not saying this happens today. I'm saying like because I don't think we make any moves. Honestly, I don't think we make any big moves or anything like that this whole year. But if we get to the trade deadline and somebody says, "All right, we want to make we want to make some type of addition or shake things up," I think that's the only thing that we need is possibly more versatility or consistency on the bench. Because, I mean, I might even look at getting another backup center. Like, Montrez is good enough, I suppose, but it's like at the same time, he's
good
not
at all. He's
great.
not fucking good at all. Oh my god!
So it's like
good at all.
there's not a whole lot that I think needs to be done, but I think you could just upgrade some of the bench spots that you have right now. That's it. So I would look at a guy like Devin Vassell. I would look at a guy like Sadiq Bey, even though sure they're probably not going to trade them. And their asking prices are going to be way too high. But if you're at the trade deadline and you want to make a move and shake things up, I would call those guys and inquire about them.
This is what I would say. One, I'm putting this out there, so when they get him, you like, oh my god, Marquis is right. The Sixers should go after Mason Plumlee.
That's not a bad. That's not a bad.
He's averaging a double. He's averaging a double. 2, for a fucking center, he's a pretty good passer.
Yeah.
Like his passing, he has pretty good handles for a center. Mm-hmm. He's still athletic, so he could be definitely a lob threat for James Harden, the Shake Miltons. Just throw it up to and get. He's not a bad defender, but it's kind of like every center when they play against elite competition, they kind of fold. Mm-hmm. But I think he's good enough to buy us some time. He's athletic enough to definitely alter some shots, if not block them. So. I think Mason Plumlee, and I think literally trading Matisse Thybulle and Furkan Korkmaz gets you that. And I don't think that the Hornets say no at all. Because now you add defense to a team that's doesn't really have any other defensive players other than Kelly Oubre sometimes.
I would not want to trade Shake Milton in it. I mean, Furkan. I'm sorry, no. I would be okay with trading Furkan. I don't know if I would want to trade Matisse for Mason Plumlee.
Furkan and Matisse, Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want Marquis to be in that deal, is what I'm saying. He might have to be, but I would rather do Furkan and Shake.
Furkan and Shake don't make the money.
That's right. Shake isn't. Damn.
And if anything, I'm bringing back Shake.
I honestly, I would rather.
But they're not
House.
telling you. See, this the whole thing. House is not a name. If you go Furkan and Matisse, they're going, oh shit. Matisse is more of a name.
Well, yeah.
Even though we go, even though we go, his defense isn't as good as we thought, as people from the outside looking in think it is, or he's not good in our eyes, or he's kind of like a their player. You know what I'm saying?
Who, Matisse?
To them, yeah.
I think he's. Oh, okay.
To them is like, I mean, just in the sense of like, when we see the shit and we feel as though there is nothing getting better out of it, even if he does good, it's like, okay, stagnant. It becomes a little stagnant. In a way that, oh shit, like he plays defense. And he's a lob threat. Okay, we put this next to LaMelo, and this can, oh shit.
Yeah.
Furkan, he hasn't been the shit, but, you know, he can shoot the ball, so LaMelo's double team, you can find, like, just, like, for something, like, I mean, Furkan's not the name. Matisse would be the name in it.
Yeah.
Like, he would be the name. Like, he would be the Furkan for Miles Plumlee? Fuck no. Matisse, oh, shit, Matisse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be the sweetener. Like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, we could get him to come to this young team. He's still young. I mean, he's 25. And, I mean, obviously, you would have to pay him after this year, but Miles Plumlee is also on the last year of his contract. So it's like, you know, take your chances.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. I just think we could, because of the amount of teams and people that were inquiring about Matisse, I think there might be a better deal out there if you're putting together a package with Matisse in it.
See, the thing about that is that they were inquiring about Matisse before this season.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what they view Matisse as now, where literally he's averaging the worst amount of points. He's shooting the worst from three. Like, his stock is at the absolute lowest. So, I'm talking about, like, the individual trades. Like, Portland was ready to do a trade for Matisse Thybulle. Like, they were ready. Are they going to be as ready now? Or are they going to offer the same thing that we're going to offer in the beginning of the season after seeing him now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you could go, well, he still plays defense. That's still what they want. But they might go, oh, maybe we could find another route. Maybe we go to OKC and we get what's his name? He's blanking about Kendrick Williams. Maybe we have a better shot with him because he's a better shooter, and he could do what Matisse does. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might just go, all right, let's probably go a different direction. I mean, if defense what they want, he's going to give that, but you might think like they might want a little bit more, or they thought he could do a little bit more. Because like last year, he averaged like 6 points a game. Now he's averaging like 1.
What do you think about Furkan, Matisse, What do you think about Furkan, Matisse and Jaden Springer for Obi Toppin and Cam Reddish?
No, that's too much.
Giving up too much?
Cam Reddish, you get Cam Reddish for a second-round pick.
You think so?
No, they literally said that you could get Cam Reddish for a second-round pick.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that nobody has done it yet shows me how much the league values Cam Reddish. So,
but that's weird. I don't. Okay.
They literally said it was like either a high second-round pick or 2 second-round picks or something like that. They don't want a first one. They just want him gone. So trading all that for him doesn't make sense. Like, and on top of that, that's another thing. I mean, Obi Toppin is like, there's no shooting in that at all.
No, of course not.
Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like if we're going to add something that's not shooting, it's going to be a backup big. I feel like we've already done our due diligence with the wings that can't shoot.
Well, I don't think Obi Toppin's not a wing though.
But what will he play on this team? He's mostly going to play wing, or he's be a small ball five.
He's listed as power forward.
But for this team, he'll be a small ball five. I think he would have to
do the same thing.
Because
I think he would have to do the same thing. But I think he would have to be a small ball five. Yeah, he would have to be a small ball five, but he would essentially be taking over from Montrez, who's also smaller than Obi Toppin is. Obi Toppin is like 2 inches taller than Montrez. Right now, Montrez is small ball five. If Joel's not in the game, all we have is small ball five. Honestly.
Yeah. So he goes 7 foot. This fucking 6. Fucking Paul Reed's the tallest motherfucker.
Yeah, him and Obi Toppin are about the same height.
So it's like, I mean, I wouldn't do that for the simple fact that I feel like it's too much. It's too much. I took Matisse. I didn't realize that New York was basically trying to give away Cam Reddish. Yeah, like you could Google Cam Reddish and they're literally trying to get rid of him. Like, he's out of the rotation. Got injured and literally got out of rotation.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. If that's the case, then I mean, he's not really getting a whole lot of minutes. But what do you think about Daniel House and Furkan? Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin.
I don't think you do it because of Obi.
You just don't want Obi?
No. I think they're going to look at it like that's not Cam. Cool, we don't give a fuck. But I think Obi is a valuable piece in their bench that they use consistently. So it's like, well, I don't really look at somebody. Okay, cool. The Cam, we don't give a fuck. But like Obi, that's kind of Furkan, who doesn't play for y'all. Daniel House, who barely plays for y'all. You want somebody who definitely plays for us and is in our system, is in our like rotation. You know what I mean? I would look at that sideways.
If that's the case, I would just do the second round pick for Cam.
I mean, for sure, somebody got to take a chance on him. Like he's talented enough for you to take a chance on him.
Yeah,
I definitely would rather. I would rather him, honestly, other than go to a team like us that is going to be trying to contend. I would really like to see him go to a team like the Pacers, or like a team or OKC. Where his opportunity, I definitely don't want to see him go to the Rockets because Rockets don't have nothing.
Well, I don't know about the Pacers anymore because they got Mathurin now.
Yeah, I mean, just in a situation where he's going to play, like there's no politics for him not to play. Like with Thibs, like if you miss a game and somebody starts performing, you're just out of his rotation, or you don't play defense, you're out of his rotation. There's no politics with any other of those teams. Whereas though, like literally, show up and play. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what he should be doing. Like even what's his name? Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah,
literally politics. Like he wasn't filling the Cleveland Cavaliers. He wasn't filling the coaching staff. He sat his ass down. Went to fucking Houston. First week of him being there, he dropped fucking 50.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's all about opportunity and like the consistent opportunity and understanding that even when you fail, you're not going to be pulled out, or they're not going to fucking bench you for 3 fucking games. You know what I mean? Like, I just think you need opportunity. And the last time he really got that was with the Hawks, but the Hawks weren't trying to play him the way they were trying to use him in the corner. And we seen when he played against us in that playoff series, dude was a fucking mid-range killer.
Yeah.
It was like every shot he took it felt like it was going to fuck in. And now you're telling him, understandably, like you're telling him to go in the corner because Trae Young is there. But that's not the way to use him. And that's why he fucking got mad and wanted to leave. And now you're over here, and in the beginning of the season, they were using him, and now they don't play him no more. And, like, I just want him, I would really want him to go, like, I would love him on the Sixers, especially at that low price, but I would really love for him to go to a place where, like, he's going to consistently get time. Because, like, even with us, Doc has shown, like, he does not give a fuck. Like how like good you look for one game, like if he does not feel like you're going to be good for us or
But I'm
he can play somebody, like, literally, there's a chance that we trade for Cam Reddish and he still somehow plays fucking Daniel House over him.
I would be pissed about that. And I think the problem is I'm looking at this and I'm kind of looking past Doc. Like, for me, like, in my head, I'm thinking, number one, long term, but I'm also thinking and hoping that at some point Doc just gets replaced. Like, not just at some point, but at some point in, like, the near enough future. Because you got to imagine, like, when Tyrese comes back, do you still want Tyrese starting next to James? Or has, not to say that Tyrese shouldn't start. I don't want to go as far as to say that. But as far as the fit goes, Anthony Melton might be a better fit next to James and Joel than Tyrese.
I think depending on the situation. Like, I don't think they're going to bring Tyrese off the bench. I just don't think
No, I don't think so either.
But in a situation, I think that if you're in a situation where, like, you need defense,
yeah,
you can sit one of those motherfuckers. You can sit one of them. If Tyrese was want to be the guy you want to sit because he's not the greatest free throw shooter, and you need like a free throw shooter on a fucking John, you leave James on. I think it's all situational, but I just don't see Doc sitting James Harden.
Because my thing is, like,
if it's going to be one of the two, it's going to be Tyrese.
I think no, not James Harden. I'm talking about DeAnthony Melton or Tyrese.
Oh, well,
I'm thinking like if James and Joel are the starters, who is a better and Tobias? Who's a better fit next to those guys right now? Is it DeAnthony Melton or is it Tyrese Maxey?
I think it's Tyrese Maxey though.
Okay.
I think the defense does entice you to go. It's DeAnthony Melton, but I think Tyrese's sheer up-tempo-ness of fuck, we're in a rut. Tyrese Maxey can just cut to the rim and do something. And you might go, oh, DeAnthony could do that, but like Tyrese has the confidence to do it. Okay. DeAnthony's kind of going to wait around. Okay, y'all guys can't do it. All right. Okay, I guess now I'm supposed to do it. Tyrese Maxey doesn't fucking think about it. He just fucking does it. And I think that his quick decision in making that like determination in his head is going to be the key for us. And I just don't see a world when unless like is one of those defensive substitutions.
Right.
I just don't see.
Because my thing is like, if we're looking forward to the future, I think Cam Reddish, obviously, like you said, Doc probably wouldn't play him. But if Doc's not here within the next 2 or 3 years, Cam Reddish and Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, like these guys are your future.
This is one of the things I will also put out there. Cam Reddish is a fucking free agent after this year.
Yeah.
So even if you trade for him, you still have to bring him back.
But bring him back for how much is that going to hurt you?
Who would you rather bring back? You got a lot of people that's going to be free agents this year. Like, you know what I mean? Who? Like a lot of our key pieces are going to be free agents this year. Shake Milton is a free agent this year. George Niang is a free agent this year. Okay. Believe it or not, but James Harden technically could be a free agent this year. There's a lot of pieces that you have to bring back. Paul Reed is a second-round pick. He is a free agent this year. Like, true. There's so much shit that you might have to pay. Like, somebody's going to pay Shake if you don't pay him. Somebody's going to pay George Niang if you don't pay him. Like, this is not going to be...
See, that's the thing. George Niang, I would definitely want to bring back.
This is my whole thing. They're not players where they're... Okay, we're going to let them sit while we figure out what we're going to do. No. Somebody's going to fucking... If Shake hits free agency, if you're not the first on his door, he's going to take another fucking option. Yeah. Because I'm telling you right now, Dallas is going to be at his door. Yeah. I tell you right now, Dallas, Mavericks are going to fucking see Shake Milton, and they're going to go, yes. Yes. He's another ball handler. He's from the area. Like, it's too much for him to go no. Yeah. Like, literally, I'm going home. I get to play for the Mavericks. Next to Luka. My fucking role is solidified. Yeah. Like, literally, even if the Sixers offered him, in a hypothetical, even if the Sixers offered him more money, how the fuck can you say no to that? Yeah. You're right. How the fuck can you say no to that? You know what I mean? If fucking the Warriors come to George Niang and go, hey, we had an off season last year, but don't believe that's what we are, come to the Warriors, we're gonna win a chip. You think Jersey ain't gonna come back here?
Well, I also think a lot of that depends on how the year finishes for us too.
No, I mean I understand that, but just hypothetically, like if you're going to go about this, we got to go about this with the plan of this is what we're going to do. Like these are the guys that we're going to bring back, because like I said, these not the type of guys where you can just go to free agency and just wait.
See, and I think that's the reason why nobody's trading for Cam.
Yeah, because
Cam's probably going to be the guy who people go after in free agency to replace whoever they lost.
Yeah, like I can see Cam or like going to like the fucking Bucks. Or like some shit like that.
Yeah. Or even the Warriors.
Could be. I mean, they take chances on people.
They do.
And it normally works out for them.
Exactly. Because of that culture. That's the thing. Like, it's the culture, but it's also the giving young players opportunity.
I mean, even though I don't think they would do it because they got a lot of shit they got to figure out.
Yeah.
In terms of their young players and
but they got
adding another young player.
But that's
they're
the thing.
Trying to figure out their shit.
The Warriors have the advantage of knowing we're going to make the playoffs most likely, even if it's through the play-in. And when we do that, we still got Steph and Klay Thompson, and Klay is still coming along from his injury. Like, that's the thing. The Warriors are always in the mindset and in the situation of like, we're not in this for right now. Even with the last 2 years when when Steph and Klay were injured, they were like, listen, we're still a championship team. We're thinking about the next few years.
And this might be a hot take. I think the Warriors championship window is closed.
Really?
I think it's close.
What makes you say that?
Klay looks like he's regressing. And people could say injuries, but if he does not feel right, that's going to be him his entire career.
Okay.
Draymond is regressing. It might not look at like
Draymond
it because
is
he's
definitely regressing. But Draymond, I think Draymond's easier to replace than Steph and Klay.
But I think the thing is that Klay is starting to become sort of kind of like, not exactly, but kind of like Fred VanVleet in a way, where it's like, fuck, bro, we're leaving. It's to the point where like the Sixers were leaving Klay open. Like in a million years, leaving Klay Thompson the fuck open, was a good thing. But you know what I mean? And obviously, you could go injuries.
But how long is that going to actually work?
What you mean, like leaving him open?
It's still Klay Thompson. It's not Russell Westbrook we're talking about. How long is leaving Klay Thompson going to actually work?
If he does not have his confidence, it's going to work for a long fucking time. Because if he's not finding his shit, like, and he's not feeling it, and he's not confident, all right, cool. And
but that's
you
the
show
thing.
me.
It's still Klay Thompson,
That's the point. That's the point. Yes, he's still Klay Thompson.
But I'm saying that it's only going to take one game.
I'm not saying like literally that's how the game plan is going to be. I'm saying like, yo, if you got to cover Steph and leave Klay right now,
you would do it. But I'm saying
I'm
saying that's going to work up until the one time it doesn't, and then after that, it's not going to work anymore because all Klay is going to need is one game.
Even that
to get his confidence back.
The inconsistency. See, I haven't seen that though. I have not seen that this year.
I don't think he's had the game yet.
He's had a game where he had 40. In the next game, he had 5.
But but at the same time, what was Steph doing the next game? Like, if they're keying in on Klay, I don't think he's not the Klay that's going to be able to knock down contested shots. Oh no, Marquis, what happened? Where'd you go? Oh, Marquis left. I'm all alone.
I'm on fault. It keep going off. Hopefully, it doesn't affect the recording because I went off like 2 times.
It'll just break. I'll just have to fuse the clips together.
Okay. But what I was saying is, I forgot what I was saying. But
you're saying Klay Thompson is not the guy.
Yeah, it just seems like he is not that guy no more. And like I was saying he scored 40, and then next game he had like 5 or 7. Like, you normally, like, okay, he got the confidence back. But no, it's never been those. He's not put together a string of games where he's put together a shooting game where he has good shooting splits, but he hasn't had to put together the string of games where I go, oh, that's Klay Thompson.
But I don't know if he's ever had the string of games though. Like he's had games, like even the game where he has 60, like and he had 30 in like a quarter or something like that. The next game he was like regular.
But this is the thing where where people are going that you look like you don't have your confidence. Confidence is big in the NBA. You lose your confidence, that's fucking, you're kind of done. Like if you're an NBA superstar and like one day you just don't have your confidence and you can never get that shit back. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of players that literally are good but lose their confidence and can never get that shit back. Danny Granger lost his confidence, can never get that shit back.
Well, he lost his confidence and his knees.
Cool. But like there's a lot of players like Monte Ellis lost his confidence, can never get back. Like just like literally, you know what I'm saying? So like when you see this happening and you see him not responding the way Klay Thompson would normally respond, and you know what I was about to get into before I got cut off was Klay. Like you said, Klay doesn't need the ball, right? And Klay's getting these shots, and normally when Klay gets shots, he's open to contest it, but Klay can shoot, and even when he's contested, you expect that shit to go in. So when you're getting the same shots that you've always got, and you're not hitting them,
I don't know if he's getting the same shots though.
I would say he's getting the same shots because they're doubling fucking Steph.
Steph has been out, and also Draymond's been
That's what I'm saying.
Regressing, like you said. So I don't know if he's getting the same shots.
Yes, he's getting the same shots because literally, what were we doing when we were playing?
In our game,
we were leaving Klay open. So you can't say he wasn't getting the same shots. We were literally leaving him open.
Yeah.
That's the best shot he could get. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he needs to do something. He needs to figure out something. Because like I said, I think it's done. I think they literally not too long ago I said they were in $1 billion situation where they won a championship and they have a young team growing under their championship team. Mm-hmm. Now, both of the things they had going for them, the rebuilding team and the championship team, are gone stagnant.
But it's also just hard. Like, I think people are forgetting these aren't the same Warriors from, 2015. They're not going to go back-to-back. I don't think their championship window is closed, but I don't think they're winning a championship this year.
If they don't use these young pieces to go get something, I think it's closed.
But they could. That's the thing.
This is what I'm saying.
Bob Myers can do that. That's why I think it's not closed.
This whole thing, Bob Myers don't make those trades. He's never made those trades.
I don't know about
Bob
that.
Myers made.
I mean,
none.
Listen,
other than that Andrew Wiggins trade.
But the D'Angelo Russell trade to get D'Angelo from Brooklyn for KD, and then
that wasn't even a trade. That was kind of D'Angelo Russell was going to go to free. It was literally D'Angelo Russell was literally about to go to free agency, and I was like, "Hey, you want to go to the Warriors? Cool, okay."
It was a sign and trade, but then the trade for Wiggins. Though that's probably it in recent years. But then there's also the Monte Ellis trade. They made
some years ago.
I know, but I'm saying he also just hasn't had to make the trades. But when he's had to make the trades, he's made the trades. When he had to make the Wiggins trade, he made the Wiggins trade. When he had to make the Monte Ellis trade, he made the trade.
But this is my thing. You're slowly running out of options.
Yes.
So now your back is going to be get against the wall.
Sure.
And like I said, and you might not agree with it, but the window is closing. And
I would no. Look, that's not what you said before. I would agree that it's closing. I don't think it's closed.
Right. I think if it's closed right now, but they have the potential to open it up. And what I'm about to say,
not closed yet.
But it's closing.
It is closing. Yes, it is closing. As long as Steph and Klay are getting older and Draymond is continuously being Draymond, it's always closing.
I want to rephrase it. Like, I want to say it's closed because, like, right now it's closed. Like, right now as we're speaking.
But windows. But see, when I think of championship window, I think of a 5-year window. I don't think of like this year. Obviously, they're not winning anything
but
this year.
But if they're not doing shit this year, I don't think they're doing shit next year. I don't think they're doing shit the year after that.
I don't agree with that. We felt the same.
But if
people were saying the same exact thing 2 years ago.
We're literally saying that Draymond's regressing, and I'm telling you that Klay looks like he's regressing. Those next 3 years is going to be only Steph.
But Keith, people were saying the same thing 2 years ago when Klay was out, and it didn't look like he was coming back anytime soon. And Draymond was showing that he could not be a true number 2, and it was just Steph.
But
and
now
Steph
they have all those together,
issues.
And they're underachieving.
But you don't. Steph is out. Steph has been out for like a week.
No, I'm talking about when you had all those together. Y'all were underachieving.
Yeah. Yes, but at the same time, they've got like half of their team is like they lost key players. They lost Gary Payton Jr. They lost like a bunch of key players. It's the beginning of the season still. They're figuring it out. I think they'll finish the season enough, but I don't think they'll win a championship.
I feel like
I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they win a championship.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm telling you, like, unless they can do some shit with the young pieces and flip that shit for something and help them, like, even if it takes a player to come in there to rejuvenate the squad. Like, a player can come in there, but, like, I have to see it first. Because right now, what I'm seeing is, like, kind of like, this here lies where the Warriors. And that's crazy because they just came off the fucking championship. And it's crazy to say, and it might be crazy for me to say, but it's like literally I'm looking at what they used to be and trying to picture how can they get back there, and I just can't see it unless they this was my point. If they make this next trade has to fucking work. Yeah. Like, it has to work. Like, it legit has to work, and if it does not work,
but I think it could. I think it could. I mean, you were talking about Toronto needing a big. Would you do James Wiseman for OG?
Hell no. Toronto laughs at that shit.
No. I don't mean that's the deal by itself. I'm talking about, would you go for that if you were Golden State? Like, would you try to put together a package centered around James Wiseman and maybe another young player and some picks, try and go get OG?
If they're going to get what they're saying that they might get for OJ Anunoby, and I do not agree with it.
They're not.
And I do not agree with it. I think it's more so like a bluff where we're going to start high.
Yeah, they're definitely
we're going to start high, and then we're going to go, okay, well, all right, we can't get 4 picks.
Right.
We'll take 2, like type situation.
Right.
But I look at them, I think Usai looks at that shit and go, ain't no fucking way.
Right now, sure, but trade deadline when nobody's giving you what you want.
This is what I would say. You want OG. It's like all the players that you're going to give me back, we have a player at that position.
They don't have a center. Who's their center?
But Wiseman is not good.
He's also still playing behind Looney.
The fact that he's playing behind Looney is a problem, Sean.
But it's a problem. It's a problem to everybody else, and I can certainly understand that. But at the same time, there are plenty of people who would say, well, Draymond shouldn't be starting either. But it's the Warriors, and it's Draymond. Looney he's part of the Warriors' heritage just as much as Draymond is, as much as people probably don't want to admit it.
No,
Looney knows that system, and he fits that system better than Wiseman does.
But when you use the draft pick and you keep the draft pick, right? Like, half of the people thought they were going to trade that shit. Because there was no need for them to keep it. There was no need for it. Okay, we got these picks, let's flip them. When you use that shit and you draft a player, you're not going, oh, this player is going to come off the bench for fucking Kevon Looney. I'm not using the number 2 pick for it to come off the bench for Kevon Looney.
But it can happen though. It doesn't matter how. See, you're so hung up on where he got picked. You got to remember they only got that pick because they were trash for a year.
What I'm hung up on is that he has not done anything.
But he hasn't done anything because they haven't really been using him. Let's go back to what we said in the beginning of this about Bol in Denver. Look at what he's doing now in Orlando. If you put James Wiseman in a situation where you can let him do what he wants to do.
But that's different.
I don't think it's that different.
Bobo never got the fucking chance. James Wiseman was getting chance after chance after chance after chance after chance after chance.
No,
yes, he was.
They sent James Wiseman to the G League like 6 times.
Exactly, because he's failing at these chances.
No, he's not.
It's not.
First
You
of all,
can't
his chances are like 2 games.
Bobo was a 420 player. When we play football, we call certain players 420 players. 420 players was fourth quarter when we were up 20 and we were down 20. Bobo never got a real chance. He never at any point got a real chance. James Wiseman has had so many chances.
I don't think he has. People think it's like he's in the game, so it's a chance. It's really not. He's in the game because they don't care.
The game. He was never getting in the game.
But think about where the Warriors were.
They were injured, Sean.
I know, but
injured, and he still wasn't playing.
Because why would you play him? What's the point? If you see this guy as your future, what's the point of playing him now? And not only that, what's the point of playing him and then what? He does well, and then every your starters come back and you bench him again?
I'm talking about Bobo.
What?
I'm talking about Bobo because that's the comparison you drew up.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, well, I mean, for both of them, yeah, they had injury issues. But at the same time, what's the point?
But this
because you play him and then he does well, and then your starters come back, and then what? It's the same as like with Tyrese Maxey. Like, imagine if Tyrese did great, and then Ben was like, all right, I want to come back. Like, if Ben never got, you know what I mean? Like, that series when Tyrese was a rookie.
Fucking starting lineup. I'm telling you right now. If Tyrese is playing like he was playing, Seth is getting his ass out the starting lineup.
For Doc?
Seth is taking his ass out the lineup.
I don't know
Because
about
I
that.
feel like at that point, Doc has installed so much trust in Tyrese, in which we have never seen Doc install into a young player.
But that was out of necessity.
But this is what I'm saying. He installed into him, and then he answered the call, right? In Doc's mind, what the fuck? Because how many times, like, Paul, okay, this might not be.
I think you're giving Doc too much credit.
No, I'm saying, in a way, he answered the call. So, if, like, literally, Paul Reed will make a mistake, Doc take his ass right out.
We've seen Paul answer the call against Giannis, and he still would play.
But this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say. Tyrese was doing that shit. Bro was not turning over the ball. Bro was not going crazy with the fouls. Bro literally went like a good 2 months without a turnover. When you are a veteran coach like Doc is, where like I'm not trying to give him too much praise, but in a situation like I always like to put Doc in his situations. Like when I said we should trade Tobias, I was putting it in Doc's situation that Doc was never going to use him right. But now I'm putting Tyrese in the situation of Doc, whereas though you can't get mad at him because he's doing everything you fucking asked him to do, plus some.
But that's But wait a minute. But I think we're forgetting the fact that Tyrese Maxey is just special.
Yeah.
James Wiseman and Bobo are not special.
That's what I'm saying. James Wiseman is not that guy.
Right. Well, he's not special, but neither is OG.
Apparently not, because apparently he is, because motherfuckers is willing to do that shit.
But that's the thing, but we know he's not. Toronto's just asking for too much. I don't think that's that far off of a trade to trade a guy who really, we've never seen him have a stretch of games where he starts for a long enough period to develop at all. And on top of that, he's literally the position that you need. Toronto has been drafting guys that fit the same mold for years. Like, you got Scotty Barnes now. You don't need OG Anunoby. Sure, it'd be great to have him too, but the point is to build a team, not a roster of guys who all play the same position.
Well, so back to your James Wiseman situation. I would put him in the category of Markelle Fultz, right? Where Markelle Fultz is different. This is the difference between the two. Markelle Fultz was given chance after chance. Well, I guess there's a similarity between the two. He was given chance after chance after chance after chance, and eventually you got to go, this guy isn't it.
But each of those chances were cut short.
It was cut. You could say he was cut short due to injury, but Sean, he wasn't doing shit. He was not doing shit. And eventually you go, oh well, and like I guess your best argument would be, well, look what Markelle Fultz is doing now. That could be your best argument. It's like, oh, he's doing better now.
But see, the problem with Markelle, But even the problem with Markel is that he's on a team with guys who are also as good as him, probably, but play the same position. If you put James Wiseman on the Toronto Raptors, who's starting over James Wiseman on Toronto?
I feel like James Wiseman has to earn a lot of people's respect.
Sure.
So I don't think he will start out the gate.
I think he has to earn a lot of people's respect, but I think unlike Markel, who's in Orlando, where you got Jalen Suggs and fucking
Cole Anthony.
What's his name? Huh?
Cole Anthony.
Yeah, Cole Anthony. Like, there's competition for the position. There's a good amount of competition. There's really no competition for James Wiseman in Toronto.
They love Precious Achiuwa.
Sure, but should Precious be a center?
Yes.
I don't know about that. He's tiny.
Precious, like, he's not the same Precious of last year where you go, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he's actually playing good this year.
Okay.
And
I still think James Wiseman I think James Wiseman long term is gonna, in the right situation, will be a better player than Precious Achiuwa.
Maybe, but only maybe. Like that's how I am with it.
Well, that's all we can say as far as like as much as we've seen of both of them. That's all we could say is maybe. But if you're looking to move OG anyway, and you're probably not gonna get Wemby, what's your next best option if you're rebuilding a team? You got Scotty Barnes.
I'm not saying not take a chance on him. I'm just saying you're not gonna trade him for much. Like, he has to be in a package with other players to really get a return that they would be looking for. Like, you can't just ship out James Wiseman and go.
No, of course.
All right.
No. I wasn't saying just James Wiseman for OG. I'm saying a package.
No, I'm just talking about just and I'm talking about just in anything. Like, James Wiseman's fucking worth.
No, of course not.
Like,
you're not getting anything substantial for just James Wiseman.
I legit think like James Wiseman is kind of where Andre Drummond was.
Yeah.
Right now, where like you could literally trade 3 second-round picks and you probably could get them.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, literally, if you told me fucking Andre Drummond, who's averaging, he was averaging like 17 and like 14, that you could get this man for 2 second-round picks. The Cavaliers got him for 2 second-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because even though he was doing good, they did not believe in him at all.
Yeah.
And the Warriors do not believe in James Wiseman enough to even give him the time of day because they feel as though they don't.
If that's the case, or if they just don't want to move him until they have to.
I feel as though they know they can't move him. Like I was saying, they know they can't move him by himself.
I feel like they're kind of looking at the situation sort of similar to how the Rockets were with John Wall. Like, we don't necessarily need you to play, but we also can't let you just leave. Like, we also don't want you to just leave.
This is the thing. This is the difference between the two. One, John Wall contract was fucking humongous. So
James Wiseman was a number 2 pick, so his contract isn't great either.
I mean, he's getting paid $9 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but like at NBA standards, that's a movable contract.
No, it's a movable contract, but it's a lot for what you're getting.
But like this the whole thing, the team, like what you said, taking chances. There's no contender that's going to take a chance with James Wiseman.
No, not for $9 million.
All the people that's going to take chances on James Wiseman are teams that can afford to just absorb $9 million.
Right.
Like if James Wiseman was to, there you go, okay, cool, trade him. We're gonna put all these. We're gonna put Kuminga. I actually don't think they're gonna trade Kuminga.
No, they're not. They're not moving.
I think it's gonna be Moody.
Yeah,
Moody and Wiseman, and who else they have? I think Baldwin. All right, cool. Let's put all these 3 in the package. Yeah, and let's go see if this person give us Keldon. Like if he goes to San Antonio, cool. I mean,
I don't even know if San Antonio does that because they want Wemby.
I mean, if you're going to a spot like this, once again, you're taking a chance on these guys.
Yeah.
Moses Moody. Only thing we've seen from Moses Moody is summer league. I haven't really seen too much about him in the league. I could be wrong, but I haven't been watching as much Warriors game, and I don't think he played against us when we played the Warriors. and they were short-handed. That's what the time you would think you would see him.
Mm-hmm.
So that shows me either he was injured or he was buried on a bench. So it's like, okay, you feel like you're going to take a chance on these guys because these guys aren't getting in, and you go, oh well, this is a championship team, so they're going to play the guys they know, they're going to play the vets. But it's like, I still got it. Like as a guy trying to trade from them, it's like, yeah, you guys are a championship team and you're not using them because of that. But why should I pay the premium for guys you don't play because you're a championship team? But yet, because you have not played them, I have not seen them enough to make a true assumption on how much you should really be getting for this player. So it's like,
right.
You know what I mean? So it's a very weird situation. But like I said, if they make a trade, the trade has to work, or it's kind of dunzo.
Yep.
Yep. You had something else.
You had something else?
No, I asked you.
No, I don't really have much. I don't really have anything else.
I think
it's still early in the season. Teams are still kind of feeling their way out of everything. Guys are injured. Guys are coming back from injury.
Anthony Davis is injured again.
Yeah. What do you think about the Pelicans, by the way? Do you think
Pelicans
they're
are
real?
amazing?
Do you think it's
Yes.
real though? Like it lasts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and they're doing this without Brandon Ingram. And I think
that's what's crazy. That's what's scary.
That's the craziest part. And CJ has not been playing good. It's too much there for me not to go, this is real.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it without the pieces that you would think they would need to make this, to do this,
yeah,
you go, oh, fuck. They're just a cohesive unit. Willie Green
what's
got those guys in shape, and they're playing amazing.
It's interesting because the Eastern Conference and Western Conference have pretty much swapped. Where, like, in previous years, the Western Conference had, like, the older, more experienced teams that you kind of just knew, like, these guys you can rely on. These are superstars that have been in the league for a while. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to do well. And in the Eastern Conference, you had younger teams where, like, one year these teams would be, like, make a jump. And then next year, this team would make a jump with, like, the Sixers or the Celtics or even, for a little while, even Chicago or it was like it was up and down. It was very up and down. Toronto as well. But now it's like in the West, you got a lot of young teams that are really emerging. Dallas, Memphis, New Orleans.
I wouldn't say Dallas is emerging.
I mean,
they're
up there.
They're not up there.
No, you don't think so?
No. Dallas is not even the fucking Dallas Mavericks. It's the Dallas Lucas.
The Dallas Lucas?
Like, bro, they literally the top seed right now.
Yeah, but I mean, shit. We're like
I can't tell you.
Like,
I can't tell you that they're emerging, and they're like.
Well, I think they're dealing with the loss of Jalen Brunson.
Not only that, but they're also dealing with the fact that Luka is too good. Like, he is too good, and that is hindering you. And it's crazy because that's the same situation that happened with LeBron at Cleveland.
Yeah.
LeBron was too fucking good.
Too
to
early.
The point where you could not tank and get another guy. You couldn't get that other guy through the draft. Now you're going, I have the win now, and now you traded all your picks for Porzingis. Now you have no picks. Your fucking second best player is Spencer Dinwiddie because Christian Wood hasn't been on shit. And, like, now it's like, damn, bro, there's, like, nowhere to go. Dallas Mavericks fans are going, well, at least we're showing that we're trying and la da 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 da. Look, I don't want to hear that shit, bro.
Right.
You don't want to hear that shit, bro. Once that contract is up, he's gone.
Yeah.
If not before that. If they can't find. And it's so crazy because now he's in a situation because, like, Dallas fans acclaim, they go, well, players are going to want to come to Luka. Why go to Luka when Luka might be coming to me so that I'll stay right here where I'm at. I'm comfortable.
And now
y'all
that,
motherfuckers is the losers.
There's like a really select. There's like a type that Luka needs. So it's not even like everybody's thinking, oh, I can go to Luka and we can win. Like like
that too.
You're not
that
like for instance, Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard and Luka are not like a match made in heaven. Like they're not gonna win. There's plenty of stars who are not looking at Luka like, oh, if I was on a team with him, we'd be perfect together. Like that. There's like Luka needs a specific kind of other star.
There's not that many of those specific other stars that you were talking about that aren't under contract already.
Exactly. That's why I was saying in a sense that like I've seen a lot of people like after the losses, like after the thing where Luka wasn't dapping up people when he was like mad and he was frustrated. Yeah,
people were like, you know, people are going to come, their dollars, they see that he want to win and stuff like that. But like literally what I just said, like if I'm one of those guys, I'm not requesting a trade to Dallas when I feel as though he's closer to requesting a trade than me. Like
it's crazy because Philly was in the exact same position. Like when we in 20 what was that, 2017, 2018, the year LeBron went to the Lakers. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's Philly. We got Joel and Ben. Like people are gonna want to come here." And it's like, no, they're not. But Paul George didn't want to come here. LeBron didn't want to come here.
The difference is
plenty of guys did not want to actually come here.
The difference is between that. One, we had chemistry, so we could have done it. But two, they look at Ben and Joel and go, they're not compatible. Like they're not. But
I'm saying, like, people are the fans are looking at Dallas and thinking, like, oh, it's Dallas, it's Luka. Yeah, people are going to want to come here. The same way the fans here were thinking, oh, we got Ben and Joel, we got all this money, and it's Philly. Of course, it's a bigger market. Of course, people are going to want to come here. But it's like, that's not how it works, bro. Like, the fans in Dallas are not seeing, like, that's not how it works. Just because you have a good player and your weather's nice doesn't mean that players are just going to want to be here.
I think
number one, you probably can't afford most of them. Number two, most of them are probably under contract. And number three, a lot of them probably aren't thinking Luka and them are compatible.
Right. And I would throw in number four. Why the fuck would I leave? I'm under contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so it wouldn't even be a free agent signing. It would be a trade. I would have to request a trade.
And then on top of that, they have no assets.
Right.
Their best trade package is Tim Hardaway Jr. and fucking Davis Bertans, who nobody fucking wants. Who nobody fucking wants. You have Tim Hardaway Jr., who's supposed to be a shooter, and he's okay. You have Davis Bertans, who's supposed to be a shooter, but he forgot. You have, like, literally, like, Spencer Dinwiddie, who you don't want to trade because he's kind of your Jalen Brunson replacement.
And Christian Wood, who you don't want to trade because he's kind of your Kristaps Porzingis replacement.
Right. You have all these players. But this is the whole thing about Christian Wood that is like, okay, you traded nothing to get him.
Right.
That's the only thing that is like, you traded Boban and fucking Trey Burke and fucking Sterling Brown, who are all out the league. Yeah. I think Boban's only on the team because people like Boban. Like,
Boban should be on the Sixers.
Boban's just going to keep getting jobs because people like him.
Of course, and because he's big as fuck, and it's like
he's
like a novelty thing.
He's not selling tickets, but he's like, oh my god, Boban, he doesn't have to fucking jump to dunk, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'd like to see that live, actually.
I would like to see that, you know what I mean? Like,
I would like to see it.
Literally, like the fuck, like Taco Fall, like everybody knew Taco Fall was going to make the NBA. They're going to have their fun, the little giggles and shit. Okay,
yeah,
all right, now
actually
get the fuck out.
I went to high school with a guy who played basketball in college with Taco at UCF. Shout out to Daquan Walker. He's helping people fix their credit now.
It just sounds like any black name.
Daquan Walker, I know, right?
No,
but he's very, very
good. What's his name? This is what I said when we were mentioning, what's his name? The guy with one arm.
Oh, yeah. Hansel. Hansel Emmanuel?
Yeah, something like that. Like I was saying when we were talking about him, he's going to make it to the NBA. They're going to oh, look at this. Look at this. It's crazy. He's the first of his kind. Yada, yada, yada. All right, get the fuck out of the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
have you seen any of his college highlights?
I've seen, like, his first points, and then I haven't heard anything else about him.
Me either.
Like, he got a dunk on his first play, and like, literally, that's what I'm telling you. He's going to get to the league based off that, and they're going to go, all right, guys, we gave him a chance. Look at him. He is in the jersey. Next.
Yeah.
Look, what's his name? Fucking the guy, Dwight Howard's over there fucking fighting. He was one of those people,
oh,
too.
Yeah.
Simu. Yeah, that motherfucker came on. Oh my God, look at him in 7'5". Look at him. He's with the Kings. Look. All right, now get the fuck out the league. That's how the league is. We're gonna use you because we know people are gonna want to see you. You're like the game within the game. We're gonna use you. Come out here, cool, great. It's just that he's not Boban. You know, he's not likable like Boban. Boban's really gonna have a job because he's the nicest person in the NBA, and also he's the biggest person in the NBA. Dude's actually ripped for his size. It is fucking
Boban?
weird. Yeah, it is fucking.
Did you watch
weird.
Hustle?
I did watch Hustle.
Did you see his scene?
Yeah, he's like,
It was funny. He's like, I am 20. He's like, who is that? Is my son. How old is he? 12. And he's just like, I am 12. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Boban is the ninth wonder of the world. So
Yes.
he constantly gets chances.
Speaking of Hustle, Bo Cruz is on the Raptors now.
Yeah,
don't know
Bo
if you
Cruz
saw
is
him.
fucking. I'm not gonna lie, Bo Cruz is making me fucking nervous because he hit some
Yeah.
fucking corner threes where I was
Yep.
like, fuck, dude, sit the fuck down, dude.
I was like, I wish I was at the stadium just to hear how many people are yelling Bo Cruz right now.
I mean,
Because you know it was a couple
how many
people.
you think actually watched that shit? That was in like, it's 20,000 people in attendance. How many people do you think actually watch Hustle?
I think, remember, it's based in Philly, and I think any movie that's based in Philly gets enough attention from Philly people for it to become a thing. It was already a thing on Instagram and Twitter. Actually, it was a thing to the point that people who watched the movie didn't know that Juancho actually played basketball.
Yeah.
They thought he was an actor who was just good at basketball. They
was
thought
that?
everyone else in the movie were
I
like
knew-
actual basketball players, but
We-
they didn't
we knew-
realize
'cause
Juancho
mind
was
you-
an actual NBA player.
Mind you, they started recording because it came out this year, right?
Yeah. No, it came out.
No, it came out this year.
Well, yeah, it did beginning of this year. Yeah,
They fucking started
like in
this
the
shit in 2020.
early summer.
They started recording that shit in 2020 because I remember people was like, yeah, Queen Latifah's downtown. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
And Adam Sandler was like playing basketball with people.
Adam Sandler's in the car.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
yeah.
Apparently, what's his name from fucking Harry Potter was that fucking the job.
Yeah,
Fucking
Rupert.
yeah.
Rupert Grint, I think is his name.
Yeah, Weasley.
Played
Right.
Ron Weasley in Harry Potter. Yeah, he was at the store the other day.
It's like he's only down here because he's doing the movie. Like he's only down here because he's doing the movie. What the fuck is he doing down here? Unless
Rupert
he's
Grint.
unless he's filming, or unless he's going to K&A. That's the only reason he's down here.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I just looked him up on Google, and the first picture that comes up looks like something that you would see at K&A.
Oh,
I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on. And Rupert, you're never gonna see this, but if you do, for whatever reason, I'm sorry. But yeah. But there it is. Can you see it? Oh, is he gone? Marquis. There it is. That's Rupert Grint. That's the first picture that comes up.
okay. All right.
He definitely looks like he's about to say, "I'll sing you an Ed Sheeran song for $15."
I'll suck your dick for a cupcake.
Oh, God. All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and call it a day.
Oh, also, right before you go, one more basketball thing. It doesn't need you really to respond. It's just more so a statement.
Okay.
Wizards, blow it the fuck up, please.
Yeah.
God damn, bro. Let that shit go. It's literally like
Listen,
fucking
the Wizards, the Kings,
And
the
the-
Trailblazers.
No, the Kings.
All
The
of
Kings
them.
are actually playing good. Kings are actually
They're playing good, but that's not going to lead
But
to
this is the whole thing. Kings fans are literally at a point where, hey, and we get to the play-in, we did something. That's
But they're in
where
the.
they at.
Think about it. They're playing some of the best basketball they played in years, and they're the 6th seed.
Cool.
No,
They'll take it.
They'll take it,
you gotta
yes, but
understand
blow
the
it up.
standards of it. The Blazers, they don't give a fuck. As long as Dame is on the team, bro, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. The Wizards, you're not having the success that they are. Okay, we're talking about a 6th seed and the 5th seed. I think you guys are consistently the 10th seed. Okay, you're consistent. You're consistent.
They're 12th right
terrible, and you gotta let it go. Okay, because one, Bradley Beal, you paid Bradley Beal too much fucking money. Now he has, when you go to trade him, he has one of the worst contracts in the league for such a good player.
Sounds like something they did with someone else before, doesn't it?
But that was more so because of injuries. Injuries fucked up John Wall. Bradley Beal fucked up Bradley Beal. like Bradley Beal fucked up Bradley Beal. You say you wanted to compete, you did not have to take all that goddamn money. They were going to pay you regardless, but you said, hey, give me everything. Now you have nothing, and now they can't really trade your ass, because now you got a no-trade clause for some fucking reason, which makes no fucking sense, because they didn't gave you the fucking Washington Monument for some fucking reason. You just have that shit outside your fucking house. They just gave you fucking everything, man. They get a fucking.
We're gonna pay you with the actual Constitution. You can just
bro,
take
like
this,
literally, bro,
and it's worth the whole city. You can do with it what you want.
Bro's
Sell it,
eating,
auction it off at Sotheby's.
Bro's eating free dinners in a White House and talking about like we want to win here, bro. And nobody winning here, bro. Kristaps is playing the best season of his career since New York. Hey, y'all motherfuckers is still losing. Yeah. And on top of that, you have no players that nobody wants other than Kyle Kuzma. That's where that shit ends. That is crazy.
And they should have kept. They had when Rui was like on that tear in his rookie season. They should have known right then and there.
It's time, bro.
It's time.
Washington Wizards fans, go to the fucking game and go Bradley Beal, bro. Go home. Like, just go to the GM and go, stop the torture. Because it's torture at this point.
Wizards, it's so many Wizards, Kings, Blazers.
It's torture.
It's, you just got it. Timberwolves too, I say.
You might be going, Marquis, you're picking on us. No, we were once in your shoes. We let everybody fucking go. Literally, Drew Holiday made an All-Star game the year we traded his ass.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
We said, nope, we want Nerlens Noel for some reason. But we did it.
Everybody that we traded is also like almost everybody that we traded went on to like do pretty good. Like Andre Iguodala, Drew Holiday.
Champions.
Yeah, they've either done pretty good or they're out the league now.
Yeah.
Andre Iguodala, Drew Holiday, Jeremy Grant, who else? Rashawn Holmes. Like, they're either really doing okay for themselves or they're out the league.
Oh, they're going, yeah. And like Washington Wizards fans, just let it go. Like, go down to the GM and go, hey, bro, sell the team. Like just go sell the team.
Same thing with the Knicks. They were like chanting Dolan sell the team at the stadium.
Sell the team, motherfucker. Move the team to Seattle. I'll let you not. I'm gonna say this just to get off your neck for a little bit. If the Knicks were anywhere other than New York, they would have been moved that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand why Sacramento has a team and they're as terrible as they are. I mean, terrible, obviously this year is a resurgence. But, like, in terms of you haven't made the playoffs since I was 6. Yeah. I have a fucking mortgage and 3 kids and a fucking dog that hates me and a wife that won't stop nagging me. And you guys have not been in playoffs. Shut up, Sean. I'm adding extra effects.
Okay.
And a mistress that I think is a guy. So like we have so much. It's time to just throw this shit away, man. Bro, like in 8 years I'm gonna be 30, and you guys are still not gonna be in the playoffs. The only chance you have to make the playoffs is literally getting rid of every fucking body.
Yeah.
Getting rid of everybody. You might have to rebuild your rebuild.
Hey, the Sixers did it.
We rebuilt our rebuild, dog. We had Michael Carter Williams.
Drew Holiday and Michael Carter Williams are our guys for the future. I mean, Michael Carter Williams and Nerlens Noel. They're our guys. Then it was like, oh, fuck. Fucking Jahlil Okafor, 18 points a game, post monster. He's the guy. It was like, turns out we actually got it right with Joel. He's
right.
better.
We just had to wait 2
Trade
years.
them both. Michael, yeah, you can go ahead.
Listen, this
yeah,
is the
you can
trick.
leave.
This is the tip. Everybody who had to miss their first season ended up being a good player.
Yeah.
Facts. Right, Porter Jr. missed his first year, came out shooting. Joel Embiid missed 2 seasons, is Hall of Famer.
Nerlens missed his first year. He came back.
Nope.
He was a Rookie of the Year candidate. He just didn't play enough games.
Don't count Nerlens. Just don't.
I mean, he was a Rookie of the Year candidate. He did. He was averaging like 3 blocks a game. Like he was a good
Don't
player.
use Nerlens. That's the Kings' problem. They're probably using Nerlens as a fucking measure of success.
No, he's not. He's not like the example. He's just
Nerlens does not play for the
group.
Pistons.
No, he doesn't. Because what happened, I think, honestly, Nerlens Noel suffered from the same thing as, like, Jahlil Okafor, even I would say somebody like Andre Drummond to an extent, where it's just like the game kind of changed right from underneath them. Hassan Whiteside is another one. Like, the game just changed so rapidly where, like, stretch bigs were, like, such a thing. 3-point shooting was such a thing. It was like they didn't have a place anymore.
Yeah. For some reason, Nerlens Noel is only 28, and that doesn't seem right. So somebody's lying.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
That does not seem right at all.
He was.
That does not.
Well,
he was drafted in 2013.
No,
so,
that's
damn,
probably
he's been
right.
in the league for 10 years.
That's probably right, actually.
Bro, he's
because
been in the league for 10
a 1 in
8 years.
He was a 1 and done. And Joel was a 1 and done, but Joel came in a little older because he came to America and started playing basketball later.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're the same age.
Joel
literally came in to basketball a year after.
Jahlil Okafor was born in April of 94, and Joel was born in March from 94.
Yeah.
I know that because I always remember Joel's birthday because he matters to me, and I love him, and he's amazing. And also know that Tyrese Maxey's birthday is November 4th, 20 days before mine.
Right.
Do I know James Harden's birthday? No. That should tell you how much I love him. Huh?
Do you know my birthday?
It's February Timber. It's like March or some shit. Is that March?
Ladies and gentlemen, this was
hold on.
of the
Is
Untitled Hoops Podcast. You can catch us next week
12?
With another episode. Hopefully, it won't be a month before our next episode.
1 through 12?
Thank you all for tuning in. Remember that the Bro Taco Alliance and the Low Lights Podcast no longer exist. They have
that sounds
morphed
so fucking
together.
sad.
They have come together.
No, the Low Lights still exist.
The Low Lights Network still exists. The
Low Lights still exists.
Podcast does not
Low
exist.
Lights still exists. Me and Tyrese are coming out with some reaction videos to some shit. So
okay,
Low
but it's not a podcast.
Live. The Low Lights live.
Anyway.
We live. We never die.
Anyway, there is a new podcast that consists of all of the members of the Bro Taco Alliance podcast and the Low Lights podcast together. And it is called Mad Geeks. And you can check that out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts.
I would like to say this.
Starting this weekend, along with this
came
podcast,
out
of course.
With damn near all the names.
Yeah, you did.
The podcast.
You did. He made the logos for all of them as well. So great job, Marquis. We appreciate it. And you apparently remember the names of the people you love, including Joel Embiid. My birthday's in August, by the way. See you next week, 3rd. Everybody.